U.S. President Donald Trump is set to address the UN General Assembly in the next hour or so. The pursuit of America first under his administration, raising questions on how far Washington is prepared to maintain a decades-long position of leading on global affairs. These are live pictures out of the UN headquarters in New York, where some 150 world leaders are expected to address the chamber this week. Mr. Trump said to be the second speaker of the day when it opens at 9 a.m. local time. His speech taking place 8 months into his second term, marked by severe aid cuts, are sparking worries about funding for multiple humanitarian crises. The need for leadership and direction as well amid open conflicts that have defied easy resolution. The war in Gaza now nearing its second anniversary with no ceasefire in sight. In a landmark diplomatic shift, 6 European nations, including France, formally recognizing Palestinian statehood yesterday. The move that has been consistently opposed by not just Israel, but also its principal backer, the United States. Mr. Trump, in his campaign for office, repeatedly pledging a speedy end to the war in Ukraine. But more than 3.5 years on, Russia pressing on with deadly assaults. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is expected to meet Mr. Trump today before addressing the General Assembly tomorrow. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov will stand in for President Vladimir Putin on Saturday. And Toni Waterman is covering this story for CNA from New York. Toni, we have heard some hints from the White House on what Mr. Trump is likely to say in his speech at the UN General Assembly. Could you sum those points up for us?
That's right. Trump's aides say that he is going to lay out his vision for the world, which we know is an anti-globalist America First policy, the absolute antithesis of the United Nations vision of a multilateral world. The president's press secretary, Caroline Leavitt, said on Monday that he's going to talk about how global institutions have, in her words, significantly decayed the global order. So perhaps he's going to also have some choice words for the likes of NATO and the WHO. We are also expecting that President Trump is going to tout his peacekeeping efforts and lay out his case on why he thinks he deserves a Nobel Peace Prize. The president has often claimed to have ended 7 wars since he returned to the White House, a figure that experts say is largely exaggerated, with many of these conflicts still simmering. And the wars that he promised to end immediately, Russia's war in Ukraine and also the conflict in Gaza, those are still raging on. One thing that the UN is really going to be perking its ears up for is any indication from Trump on how his administration is going to interact with the institution going forward. The Trump administration has cut billions of dollars in foreign aid. It has pulled the U.S. out of a number of UN agencies, including the World Health Organization and also the UN Human Rights Council, with experts that I've spoken to sets a very bad precedent going forward. The U.S. is also the largest contributor to the UN's budget. It is in arrears, as is China. It's been delaying its payments. So this is exacerbating a budgetary crisis that has led to job cuts. And this includes some cutbacks that we're expecting on peacekeeping missions, which really jeopardizes the UN's entire mission, which is peace and security. And there could still be more to come because the Trump administration has issued a sweeping review of all of its interactions with the UN, and we are still waiting for that report to be released, and it could lead to even more cuts.
All right, Mr. Trump, not just this speech will be looking at, he will be having meetings one-on-one with the UN chief, and also a group meeting with officials from Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Turkey, Pakistan, Egypt, the UAE, and Jordan. Now, these countries have very real vested interest in what would happen in Gaza. Any expectations from this group meeting?
Well, of course, this meeting with these Middle Eastern leaders is going to be coming just a day after a number of Western powers and U.S. allies formally announced for the first time their backing for a Palestinian state. That includes France, Belgium, Britain, Canada, Australia. This is something that Trump and his administration is opposed to. Trump has said that he doesn't believe this is going to lead to peace or the release of hostages, and he believes that it sends a bad message to terrorists. So one of the things that they will be talking about, of course, is the Palestinian statehood, but also what comes next for Gaza if there is eventually a peace deal that perhaps the likes of Qatar are still going to be able to help bring to fruition. What comes next in terms of security, in terms of peace, in terms of the new government? Trump has said in the past that he would like to see what has been called the Riviera of the Middle East. But for these Middle Eastern countries, they are really trying to back a plan where they have a lot of say for the rebuilding of Gaza and keeping its residents in place.
Oh, thanks. Toni Waterman there covering this story for CNA from New York.